So this is another strong lap. But this bit coming up now is the hardest bit. Very careful on the throttle here. Like that. Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to That Tom Bloke Racing. This is part 4, and as I said at the end of the last episode, I've completely neglected to do any of the F1 23 games so far. I spent so much time catching up on and completing the Gran Turismo challenges, I haven't even put this game on. So I thought the best way to sort that out is to dedicate a whole video for it. It's now March in the real world, so I have to do all the January challenges, all the February challenges, if there's time, all the March challenges as well. Luckily, ChatGPT decided it would only give me one challenge and one goal each month for this game, which sounds good, but let's have a reminder of what they are. So for January, we have to complete time trials on 3 tracks, and it's given us with assists on, and it's given us the tracks to do: Monaco, Silverstone and Monza. I'm very happy with Silverstone and Monza. Those are probably 2 of my strongest tracks, but I seriously hate Monaco now. I used to love it, but over the last few years when I've played career mode, I'll either take it out of the calendar completely and replace it with a different circuit, or I'll just simulate the race. It's agonizingly difficult and frustrating, but we have to do it. I have to get better at that. I knew I would one day. Then we have the January goal, which is to win a 5-lap race against AI on easy difficulty. If you remember, I decided that easy would be 40% AI, intermediate would be 60%, and hard would be 80%. I chose those because that's about right for when I started playing on a controller around about F1 2017, I think it was. I got pretty decent, and I was usually playing at around the 85-90% mark. So in truth, 40% might be too easy. But I'm also going to switch over to the manual transmission at some point. ChatGPT didn't give me that in any of the challenges, so I have to decide when to do that, probably sooner rather than later. I can't promise you that will not be at Monaco. February sounds like a nightmare, and maybe the reason why I've kind of been putting off this game so much. Turn off traction control and practice throttle management. I've done that before, once or twice, and usually after about 2 corners I just put it on again and forget about it. This time we're going to have to do it. I've never tried it with this setup, of course, but there's no use complaining. We've got to do it. Let's see what happens. Then the February goal is to win a 10-lap race against AI on the intermediate difficulty with a pit stop. I don't know, can I set up custom races like I can in Gran Turismo? I'll need to go and check. There's no point in leaving me a comment because I will have found out by the time this video goes out. Then if I get time, March's challenge is to complete my first online race without any penalties, and the goal is to finish in the top half of a 25% distance online race. That feels like a long way off. So let's get cracking with January time trials. Let's go to Monaco and see what happens. Right, here we are. Monaco time trial. I'm not looking forward to this. I didn't think there would be any part of this whole series that I wasn't looking forward to, but this has been on my mind all day. I've got an hour or so. I'm just going to get to Monaco, pick a car, start driving or so, see what happens. Assist wise, probably keep the racing line on, at least to start with. Traction control is on, but I think that's it. I don't have any steering assist or brake assist on. Don't know what to expect. Just going to drive around and we'll see how we get on. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Yeah, probably going to get that collided with a wall notification quite a lot. I think just finishing a lap is going to be a challenge. I've noticed as well, this is the first time I've used the load cell pedal with this brake, with this game, and it's different. Right, well the lap was invalid. The very first ever lap. 1:16.727. Whoops. Alright, we have our first valid lap. 1:17.319. And that was the third lap of my effort. I think I just jumped up about 200,000 places. Okay, the very next lap is a bit better. About a second better. Doesn't feel that horrible actually. Okay, that lap felt good. 1.4 quicker again, 1:14.7. And we're on lap, that was lap 7. Ah. Ooh. Okay, this is my best lap so far, lap 15, 1:14.1. Can't even remember what that first lap was now, but we've got to be a couple of seconds already. Whee. Ah, that's so annoying. We smashed that lap, look, nearly half a second, but it was invalid. Okay, smashed that one as well, and it is valid. So what is that now? 1:13.7. Wow, okay. And again, next lap. Oh, another one. Ooh. Ooh, that is a good one. Can I get under 1:13? Pretty close. Oh, we're going to do it. We've broken 1:13. 1:12.788. And to be honest, that wasn't that great a lap. There was a bit in the middle, and we're in the top 200,000. Okay. 40 laps is enough. 50 odd minutes. I'm exhausted. I'm sweating. My shoulders hurt. My left calf, my braking foot calf hurts. But I completely 180'd. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. It was like the good old days of Gran Turismo 3. We used to use this track for testing cars. Like, it was just the go-to lap. We would kill time by driving around it. That brought back memories of that. So that was a lot of fun. I think I ended up with a sub 113 lap. Now, obviously, that's not going to break any records. I've got assists on and so forth. But I'm really happy with that. So a 112,700 dead. I'm generally over the moon. Really pleased with that. It was weird not using manual transmission, having come from Gran Turismo and doing that all the time now. So I think when I hit Silverstone and Monza, I'm going to use manual, push myself a little bit. But that is it. That is Monaco. The fear and hatred for that has gone. I really enjoyed that. Like I say, I've got a sweat on, but I really enjoyed that. So anyway, let's move on. Silverstone was next. I will see you there. Okay, so I'm still buzzing a bit from the whole Monaco thing. That was last night. We're going to head to Silverstone now. I'm going to push my challenge a little bit here, and I'm going to put manual gears on. I had a bit of a play around with this a long time ago. But yeah, I'm going to raise that bar a little bit, see how we do. We've got a bit of a marker here, because if you watched episode 1, you'll remember we just jumped in the car. It had been a couple of months since we had driven, and I just threw the car around once, and we did a 129.961. Pretty sure we're going to beat that after whatever I can get in tonight. So yeah, let's get cracking on that, and we'll see how we do. So first things first, I managed to mess up the other camera, but seeing my mug isn't exactly the highlight of the video anyway, so I'm sure you don't mind. You can see here that I'm just going for manual transmission. As for the other assists, no braking assist, no steering assist, but ABS and traction control are on for now. I actually take traction control off later in this episode. You probably want to stick around for that. It's amusing if nothing else, but we'll gradually get to the point of not using any of them at all. I also did completely forget, but I've set some times on here before, some time ago now, and it saves those, so I already had some targets, and they ended up being frustratingly hard to get even close to. I did eventually, which you'll see, but it took a lot of patience. You can also see here, and this could be something that helps you out when you're making the change to manual, you can set an audio beep for when you should change gear. Given how much is going on and how fast you have to change the gears compared to the Gran Turismo cars, I found this really helpful. Again, one day I'll take it off, but it really helps me learn. In Gran Turismo, even in the fastest cars, you might get a couple of seconds between gear changes, but in a Formula 1 car you might change a few times within just 1 second, and that's the bit that took a while to get used to. I also moved the heads-up display a bit. Again, somewhere in the settings you can move, show, hide any of the elements on the screen. So I just nudged that box up a couple of centimeters. That meant I could see it over my real steering wheel. But it also means I can kind of see the gear number and the rev counter without having to look down quite so much. So just a little thing, but it helps me. Anyway, we did eventually manage to set a new best lap after 19 goes. A 1 minute 27.875, as you see here. Okay, we finally beat the lap that we did whenever it was. Don't know what I was on that day, but I need to find it again. And then we didn't manage to beat that again until lap 26, when we did a 1:27.770. And then, to be honest, I didn't beat that again. I was 45 minutes in or so by now and feeling it. So I ploughed through to complete 30 laps, but that was enough for me. The important thing to note is that in episode 1, we did a 1:29.961. So we've beaten that by over 2 seconds today. 2.2 seconds to be precise. That's just from changing to manual gears, nothing else. So overall, I'm very happy with that. Okay, I think we're done. 30 laps. Can feel my concentration levels dropping a bit now. I'm happy I've managed to reach a point that I thought would be terrifying just a few weeks ago, using manual gears in the F1 game. So yeah, that's good, but it's time to move on to Monza. I'm feeling quite good after this session though. Okay, so that was Silverstone. We had a bit of a technical issue with the camera. And by technical issue, I mean I'm an idiot. I pressed the wrong button on the camera. I recorded the whole thing in slow-mo mode for an hour. So that was daft, but anyway, we've got it right this time, I think. So we're going to go to Monza. I'm feeling good about manual gears now. I know Monza very well. Again, like I say, it's one of my stronger tracks. So I'm just not going to spend quite as much time as the other tracks on here. I don't have quite as much time this evening. So just going to whiz around here. I'll keep it short and we'll see what laps. We haven't done this one yet, so I haven't got any pace laps, as it were. But yeah, let's get into Monza and let's see how we get on. Yeah, like I say, there's really not much to this one, to be honest. I'm very used to the manual transmission by now, so I just threw the car around here for 20 laps. The best time I managed was this 1:20.817. Okay, we broke 1:21. I doubt we'll break the 1:20. I'm not going to bore you with watching this. There's really nothing that exciting about it, so we'll tick that one off and we'll head on to the January Challenge race now. Okay, so we have done January Challenge, complete the 3 time trials, Monaco, Silverstone and Monza. We've done to a decent level, I think. The goal for the month is to win the 5-lap race against AI on easy difficulty. I had wanted to pick a random track, a bit like we've been doing with GT7. Truth is, I don't have time to go and learn a new track tonight, so if you don't mind, I'm going to use Silverstone again. Assists, I'm going to keep manual gears, but everything else I will keep as they are. So racing line, traction control will be on. Just get cracking. I would hope to think, let's just prove difficulty. I've realized on 39 it's easy, on 40 is medium. So we've got to do what it says, do easy. I'm hoping therefore this should be pretty easy, but I've never done it as a race with manual gears. Let's see what happens. Like I say, I really hope this will be easy. I don't know where we start when we don't quali on these things. Let's go. So we start P7 for some reason. Let's go. Okay, well we made up a few places straight away. Okay, well I've got my gears all wrong because I've had to factor in other cars now. Yeah, so by the look of it, this should be pretty straightforward. I mean, if Lance Stroll is in first, then things must be pretty desperate. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be dead easy. So let's just crack through this, tick it off the list. Hope we don't mess up somewhere pretty serious. Yeah, exactly as I said there. This whole race was super easy on this setting. I don't even have any exciting overtakes to show you because I got in the lead and I stayed there. So as you can see, we won this very easily. I mean, when I played a lot, I was playing on sort of 85, 90% AI difficulty. So 39 was never going to be difficult, but we had to cross it off the list and we can move on. Okie doke. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of that. That was boring. That was an absolute doddle. Nothing challenging whatsoever about that. Bit boring, but we have to check it off the list. Easy win, I think 20 something seconds. Not even remotely challenging.
Drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Cheers, Bono. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, really boring. But we knew it would be, so we just crack on. Let's go and see what February's got for us. Assists, traction control. Let's just dive straight in and go to off. Like I say, we'll leave manuals on. Don't want to just do that all the time now. Let's go. I've got a feeling this could be really messy, but let's have a go, see what happens. I haven't even been practicing with gears yet. Whoa. Alright, well that's a good start. So you remember when I said I wasn't looking forward to this? Well, I had every reason to be worried. Turns out messy was an understatement here. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it's coming out of the corners, it's hard. I mean, predictably so. The truth is, I recorded hours and hours worth of footage, but I didn't even know where to start when it came to editing and showing you guys what happened. So I'm going to talk to you while you watch just a fraction of the crashes I had. So this is another strong lap. But this bit coming up now is the hardest bit. Very careful on the throttle here. Like that. Oh, that's annoying because that was a really good lap. Anyway, as we were. I did go and do a bit of research last night, and in this case it is right that no traction control is faster, which isn't a surprise. I think I was just looking for something to help me out. I would have liked to have been wrong. And then everyone said that this was going to be difficult, but honestly it was ridiculously difficult. In fact, in truth, I was absolutely awful. I had a go here in Spain, then I went to Silverstone, I went to Australia, Austria, Spa, back to Spain. So over about 4 or 5 hours, I reckon I can count on one hand just the number of laps I actually managed to complete without spinning. I was absolutely not having any fun. For the most part, I managed to stay reasonably focused. Every time I crashed, I'd tell myself that this was a necessary step in the journey, even in the whole series that I've created for this. But eventually I couldn't even do that anymore. You can see from the footage how hard I found this. And I didn't really think I was pushing that hard. You can see some of the throttle inputs are maybe half, maybe a little bit more than 50%, 60% or so. Okay, so I've just done 10 laps of that with traction control off. Didn't even get close. That was horrible. Particularly that first sequence of corners, what must be turns 3 and 4. Just span it almost every single time. Really frustrating. I think the best I managed was about 6/10 off my record. Which actually, when I say it out loud, is not that bad, but it's not where it needs to be. So I want to test the theory a bit like that ABS theory. Is the medium setting the best setting for compromise between speed and actually being able to drive the car? So I'm going to do it on medium, try 10 laps of that, see how we get on. So to cut a long story short, I decided to try a few laps back on the medium traction control. And I know everyone said don't bother with that. If you're going to do it properly. And I get that theory completely. That's exactly why I tried this. That's normally one of the sort of ethoses in life I live by. But at least with the medium setting, I was actually able to complete most of my laps. It was still difficult, but it gave me a bit of morale back, because at one point I was genuinely considering scrapping the entire F1 element to this series, thinking I'd just do Gran Turismo for now and maybe do an F1 series next year. But that's not really an option for me. That's not how my brain works. So in the end, I decided to change the challenge I was set this month, and instead of turning traction control off completely, I'm setting it to medium. And I promise I will keep it on medium. I won't go back. I know I'll get used to it. I know I'll get used to it, and at least I'll get some enjoyment, and it's still better than full traction control. We may move back to that one day in the future, and especially if it looks like we need to progress our lap times. Hopefully when we do, the adjustment from medium to fully off will be a bit easier. So anyway, that's my traction control rage quit experience, if you like. We just need to move on. Let's go and try the February challenge now. Genuinely had to take a break for a few days after that, but when we got back into it, I had to decide which race to do for the challenge. And just like I've been doing in Gran Turismo, I found this random track selector. I span it. Luckily for me, it gave me Spa. This was going to be a relatively big step forward compared to the January race, but still shouldn't have been too much of a challenge. It's managing the manual transmission, the medium traction control, 19 other cars around me with a pit stop, and still winning. So that makes it sound like a decent step up. So yeah, let's see how we get on. By then, that takes us to the February goal race, which, as you've just seen, is at Spa, luckily, to win a 10-lap race against AI on intermediate difficulty, including a pit stop. If I remember rightly, I don't think you can set the number of laps other than the 5-lap one, but I'm pretty sure the length of the Spa track, 25% might be 10 laps, possibly 11, possibly even 12. So whatever it is, let's do it. Assists, we know we're going to keep traction control onto medium, manual gears. Difficulty, I think we've set this already. So yeah, the edge of medium is at 59%. And the weekend structure, so we've got 5 laps for very short, and then the next option is 25%. So let's select it, see what happens. Bit worried about this, going to find this difficult. That's the point. It's the first race I've had today, so I haven't had any practice time. So the race was pretty good. Spa's probably my best track. I just had to manage all of those things together well and crack on. Don't like being on the inside here. We got off to a good start, by which I mean we started in 7th and we held that position through the first few corners. Now it's just a case of staying on the track, seeing if we can take some opportunities to move up when they came without stacking it. And as each lap went by, I was feeling more and more confident. But then the further you get, the more nervous you get about spinning out too. I had a good scrap with Russell here to get into 6th. George has proven to be my biggest problem here. Then we had to go and catch Perez, which we managed to do within that same lap, doing an absolute carbon copy move here. Although I did accidentally tap him, so I let him through first. But again, I started to realise here that the difficulty setting was easy. I was able to catch them easily, particularly on the straights. So only my skill could mess this up from here. Nice easy move on Sainz here, although he clearly wasn't too keen on me squeezing past. I had a fun little battle here with Norris to get up into 3rd, and this was a good test of staying committed and fast with the new, or the lack of new level of grip. And this bit was really fun. There was now 3 of us fighting for the lead heading down the straight, rinsed the battery, the DRS. Looks like we're going 3 wide into the corner. Did manage to get one of the positions, but that put us in second. But that was a bit of fun. We pitted on lap 5 here, but Verstappen and Leclerc didn't until lap 7. So I just drove quite well, got the undercut, and then breezed past them while they were in the pit lane. And all I had to do was bring it home. 3 seconds past him. That was a good couple of laps then. And to be honest, 8 laps in, I'm pretty buzzing that I managed to keep it on the road. Ooh, he says. Which I think kind of goes to show that for me at least, maybe not for everyone, but traction control from medium is going to be my best compromise. Because I can feel some benefit. Okay, this is coming up to this is the last lap. All I got to do now is not mess up the chicane at the end. It's funny how you get more nervous as you get towards the last laps. But it looks like we should win this, which to be honest, I am absolutely buzzing about. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, superb driving.
Yeah.
That is the race win, my friend.
Thank you
Well
for 10,
done.
Bono. Absolutely buzzing about that. Obviously, I'm happy for the win. Like I think I've said before, if you had said to me I would do... Hold on. If you had said to me I'd do a Grand Prix with manual gears, low traction control, slightly higher level, that's nothing too new.
You say is a contender for driver?
I would have probably said that's a long way off. So the whole traction control thing was an awful experience, but it's improved us. I'm happy that I just stayed on the track for 11 laps. There were some bits where I was being cautious, which I won't get away with when we move up levels. But there were some bits where I was a bit more confident as well. There is a difference, you can notice it. So yeah, really pleased with that. That's probably all I'm gonna do for this episode. I might quickly look at March, but that's a big step up into online. But yeah, really pleased with that. We've figured out traction control, so I will see you in a second. So there we have it. I have caught up with the F1 23 game challenges, sort of. I've now got to catch up with March, which we're halfway through. I completely understand it'll take a pretty committed viewer to get to this part of the episode. It's not been full of bumper to bumper high octane racing yet. So if you have watched this far, drop me a comment. I'd love to know. I'll probably thank you personally. It does really mean a lot. But in both games, these first couple of months were always about improving skills, which we needed to do. It's a necessary part of the journey. As you know by now, the goal is to get better at the game. One way could be just to jump online and go for it, and I'm sure we would improve that way as well. It's just my personality type that means I need to get really good at all the technical details. I want to learn how to do it properly. And the whole reason this series exists is because I doubt I'm the only one who thinks that way. In the world of sim racing, I think people like me are quite common. Yeah, you can dive in and race, or you can do it this way. Both are fine. I'm not saying my way is any better than anyone else's. It's just different ways in. The fun news is that in both games next month, we're finally getting online and racing real people instead of AI. I genuinely can't wait for that. I feel good with what we've achieved so far, but I could get a huge smack in the face of reality, realise I'm still miles away from average, let alone slightly above average. But at least I'm prepared for that, and it's probably a good time. I'll give you a quick glimpse of the March challenges in both games. So in Gran Turismo, participate in the first daily online race, tune your car, and then set a lap time within 10% of the world record on a selected track. For F1, it's complete your first online race without any penalties, and then finish in the top half of a 25% distance online race. So, like I say, we're getting online. These sound difficult. This sounds another suitable level up, similar to January to February, I think. Lastly, I'm interested to hear whether you prefer the episodes to be split over the two games, like this one has purposely only been about F1 23, and the previous ones were only about Gran Turismo 7, but that was less planned. It's a bit easier to make it this way, but I don't mind, so let me know. Otherwise, that's all for today. Good luck if you're joining me on this. I would generally love to hear how you're getting on. Thank you so much for watching. It does mean a lot. I do generally find it amazing that anyone takes their time to watch me and watch this journey. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, because now it's going to start getting fun, and it would really help me out if you put a like on the video as well. Thank you again. Take care. See you next time.